can't wait to hear what you have to say. What's your reaction to Reese's comments?
How did that happen? How did we get here? What she just said, the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment. And that's okay, because you can be extremely talented and not.
At the gala, everything was going smoothly. The event was a perfect mix of elegant speeches, casual chats, and servers carrying trays of appetizers through the softly lit ballroom. The atmosphere felt sophisticated and calm, but that all changed when Joy Taylor took the stage. Known across the country for her bold opinions and fearless commentary, she immediately commanded attention.
Teams are going to pick up Caitlin Clark from the second she touches the basketball. That's what Burton did there. All over Caitlin going inside. I mean, that's a...
At first, Joy's humor was sharp, and the room responded with light laughter. But soon, her tone shifted. The jokes gave way to remarks that packed more punch. With her smooth, commanding voice, she became a bit more playful, pausing to scan the room. And then, with a sly smile, she said, "You can't talk about the future of sports without mentioning women's basketball's golden child." Instantly, eyes turned toward Caitlin Clark's table. Caitlin, seated at the back, wasn't looking for attention tonight. Dressed casually and blending into the crowd, she was there to support the event, not to steal the spotlight. But in that moment, she found herself the center of it.
Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
With a hint of mockery, Joy teased, "Must be nice. How can you not shine when the whole game is built around your strengths?" A ripple of hesitant laughter filled the room. Some guests glanced at Caitlin, others at Joy. The atmosphere shifted. This wasn't the playful banter they'd expected. Joy wasn't holding back, and now all eyes were on Caitlin. But Caitlin didn't flinch. She didn't smile or frown. Her face stayed calm, her hands resting lightly on the table. From the outside, it seemed like she didn't care, but anyone watching closely could sense the quiet strength in her stillness. The tension in the room grew thick, even causing Joy, a woman who rarely hesitated, to pause for a moment. Her confident smirk softened into something less certain. Caitlin's silence spoke volumes, a subtle yet powerful display of composure. Then, Caitlin moved. She pushed back her chair slowly, the soft scrape cutting through the heavy silence. Rising to her full height, she commanded attention without a word. Each step she took toward the stage was deliberate, her movements calm and purposeful, the sound of her footsteps echoing through the room. The audience watched, frozen. Joy's smile faltered, the confidence she'd wielded moments before slipping away under Caitlin's quiet authority. Caitlin reached the stage, adjusting the microphone with poised ease. She paused, letting the silence linger before her steady gaze landed on Joy. When she spoke, her voice was clear and unwavering. "Thank you for your perspective." The room, once tense, was now disarmed by Caitlin's poise. She wasn't defensive or confrontational. She simply exuded a quiet confidence that invited respect. She continued, speaking not just to Joy but to everyone in the room. "Criticism comes with being in the public eye. It's nothing new, and it's not something I shy away from. What matters is staying true to the values that got me here. Hard work, resilience, and respect. That's what I've always stood for, and that's what I'll continue to stand for." Her words landed with weight, silencing the room. Caitlin didn't stop there. She spoke about the bigger picture. The growth of women's basketball, the importance of representation, and the power of using one's platform for good. "Every challenge, every critique," she said, "is an opportunity, not just for me, but for the sport I love and the people it inspires." By the time she finished, the room wasn't just politely clapping. It was on its feet, giving her a thunderous standing ovation. What started as an uncomfortable moment turned into a powerful one. Caitlin hadn't just answered the challenge, she'd elevated the conversation, showing the room what leadership, resilience, and grace under pressure truly looked like.
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and
she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin's mark for three, rattles it around for her first.
Joy Taylor stood silently on stage, her sharp words hanging in the air. Caitlin Clark's calm composure had completely shifted the energy in the room, leaving everyone in awe of her quiet strength. For those who were there, that moment became unforgettable. Caitlin wasn't just a basketball star anymore. She had become a symbol of grace and leadership, a reminder that strength doesn't always need to be loud to make an impact. The tension in the ballroom was palpable as Joy made her cutting remarks. "Must be nice," she teased, her words cloaked in mockery disguised as praise. "How can you not shine when the whole game is built around your strengths?" The room shifted uneasily, and nervous laughter bubbled up, only to fade quickly into silence. All eyes turned toward Caitlin, who remained calm, her expression unreadable. Seated at her table, Caitlin gave no sign of irritation. Her hands rested peacefully, her posture confident yet unassuming. She didn't laugh, didn't frown, and didn't flinch. Her silence wasn't indifference, it was strength. A clear refusal to be drawn into a petty exchange. As Joy's words grew sharper, Caitlin's quiet resolve spoke louder than anything else in the room. Her composure completely changed the dynamic. What had started as a public challenge quickly transformed into a powerful display of restraint and grace. The energy in the ballroom shifted from lively warmth to stifling tension. Even Joy, known for her quick wit, faltered. Her confident smile faded, replaced by a flicker of uncertainty. Caitlin's silence wasn't just a lack of reaction. It was a mirror reflecting strength, unshaken by provocation.
Yeah, you know, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport, because of just who you are and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today, earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing.
Then Caitlin made her move. She pushed back her chair slowly, the soft scrape of its legs cutting through the silence. Rising to her full height, she commanded attention effortlessly. Every eye in the room was on her as she walked toward the stage, each step purposeful, her presence growing with every second. Joy stood frozen. Just moments before, she had dominated the stage, but now the power had completely shifted. Caitlin climbed the steps with the same calm, deliberate movements. She adjusted the microphone, letting the silence hang a moment longer, scanning the room before speaking.
Last year from when I started my last college season and not knowing if that would actually be my last season, whether I was deciding to come back to college or turn pro, and now sitting here like I'm done with my first professional season and so much has happened. And whether it was, you know, making the national championship game or getting the Fever back to the playoffs since 2016, there's just a lot to be proud of. And it all happened so fast, like it's hard to appreciate in the moment and kind of understand in the moment, but it's been fun to reflect on. I'm definitely more aware of signs than people think I am, and I think it's something really cool to look around.
Meeting Joy's gaze, Caitlin spoke with a voice that was steady, clear, and unwavering. "Thank you for your perspective," she began, her words direct, disarming, and to the point. What followed wasn't a defensive response, but a masterful redirection. Caitlin spoke about the responsibility and privilege that came with being in the public eye, the weight of representing something bigger than herself, and the power of resilience. "I've always tried to maintain perspective," she said, addressing the criticism that had followed her success. "There will always be negativity, but it says more about those who speak it than those it's aimed at." She didn't shy away from tough topics either, including the intersection of race, gender, and sports. Caitlin acknowledged the responsibility of being a role model and the scrutiny it brought. But rather than seeing it as a burden, she framed it as an opportunity to uplift others, lead by example, and keep the focus on the growth and inclusivity of the sport she loved. By the time she finished, the room erupted. not in polite applause, but in a thunderous standing ovation. What could have been a clash of egos had instead turned into something entirely different. A lesson in grace, strength, and leadership.
To leave it all out there.
I know that you had at Iowa, both your junior and your senior year, you had 5 or 6 of these, right?
Yeah.
Where you literally, when you showed up in the arena, you did not know if it was your last game or not. Can you take any of that from junior year and senior year into a situation like that?
Yeah, I think it's like you approach it in a way of like, you don't want this to be the end. Like, you want to keep coming back here. You want to keep coming to practice. You want to keep having shooter.
Exposure, leadership, and grace under pressure. Caitlin Clark had turned the moment into a defining chapter in her story. She wasn't just a basketball star. She was a leader who showed the power of quiet strength, the importance of empathy, and the value of staying true to her principles. For Joy Taylor and the rest of the audience, it was a sharp reminder that true power doesn't always need to raise its voice. Sometimes it speaks loudest in silence. When Caitlin Clark took the stage at the gala, the room was thick with tension. But her first words, calm, steady, and measured, immediately shifted the atmosphere. "Thank you for your perspective," she began, her tone carrying an effortless confidence that commanded respect without confrontation. This wasn't just a speech, it was a masterclass in composure under scrutiny. Caitlin had faced criticism not only for her athletic performance but also for the way she carried herself in the public eye. Yet, instead of reacting defensively, she used the moment to demonstrate something far more powerful.
And realistically, these things matters to young girls. Like, representation matters, and having the actual platform matters. And I think it's important that we have these conversations. Now, I don't know how much you be in your Twitter mentions, but we're talking about equal pay for women. So it really upsets people. Like, it bothers people in their soul. I don't know why, but
I don't know why.
I don't know.
And it's mostly people that have no idea about sports.
Right.
They just assume,
or business at all.
Or business at all. But you would never hear an NBA player or any professional male athlete say the things that random people say about we shouldn't be getting paid as much. Like, you would never hear a professional athlete
actually
say
the NBA players advocate for
they advocate
fair pay.
for us.
Any athlete, anyone who spent time in the athletic arena wouldn't say the things that they're saying. That's what you get.
It used to bother me, but now it's like.
Instead of defending herself, Caitlin turned the moment into an opportunity for connection, reflection, and understanding. "I earned every single thing," she said, reflecting on her journey from college basketball standout to WNBA star. The road had been tough, and the weight of expectations had often felt overwhelming. But Caitlin spoke with pride about her perseverance and the accomplishments that had come from it. Her words weren't just about personal victories, they were a reminder of the power of resilience and maintaining perspective. As she spoke, the tension in the room began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of respect and admiration.
November, and the game didn't need saving. I don't know who came up with Caitlin was a savior. That's not true. What the game needed was a disruption in the economic marketplace, and that's what we're seeing here, and that's why it's been so fun.
Caitlin acknowledged the criticism with a simple nod. "When you're in the public eye, that's just how it goes," she admitted. But instead of focusing on the negativity, she reminded the audience of the human stories behind the headlines, stories of struggle, growth, and triumph that often go untold. By the time she finished speaking, the room erupted in a standing ovation. It wasn't just a celebration of her composure, it was a recognition of the wisdom and dignity she had shown. Heads turned, whispers filled the air, and social media quickly lit up with videos and commentary about the unforgettable moment. This wasn't just about Caitlin Clark the athlete, it was about Caitlin Clark the leader. She had turned a potential conflict into a powerful moment of shared humanity, showing that true strength lies in grace and empathy. Her critics, including outspoken commentator Joy Taylor, were left silent, not in defeat, but in reflection.
I'm just going to, reflect back and appreciate everything we've been able to accomplish together.
What will you remember from this team?
I think, more than the wins and, losses, it's just all the moments in between, this is a confident group of girls, and if you have a young daughter or young son, this is the type of team you want them to emulate and look up to, because this group is, tremendous people, and I truly mean that.
Even Joy, known for her sharp critiques, stood quietly, acknowledging in her own way the power of Caitlin's words and actions. For everyone in the audience, it became clear that this wasn't a clash of personalities, it was a reminder of the dignity and composure we should all aim for. Beyond the applause and headlines, Caitlin's message hit home. She reminded us of the power of representation and the importance of having meaningful conversations about equality and opportunity, especially in sports.
I think that hecklers are ridiculous in any kind of space.
Yeah.
Hecklers. Now, fans, you can boo, you can yell, whatever. But when it comes to a place where the referees feel the need to throw you out, you've now passed into heckler, which is obnoxious. Literally no one, despite what she may think, has showed up to this game to see her. People get thrown out of games all the time. And you and I have talked about this before. Like, hecklers are the worst. It's obnoxious for everyone around you. You're literally the worst. You're the worst. You think you're the coolest. You're the opposite. You're the worst. As someone who may or may not have thrown hands before, multiple times, I find it egregious that she's saying she's going to bleep LeBron up.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Honey, get your life together. And I also do not like the visual of this white girl calling.
Caitlin emphasized that having the platform to inspire truly matters. While her journey is far from over, that evening she solidified her legacy as more than just a basketball star. She became a beacon of resilience and leadership, a role model not only for young athletes but for anyone striving to rise above adversity with grace. Grace under pressure became the defining theme of Caitlin Clark's story. For parents looking for role models their children can look up to, Caitlin has emerged as one of those figures, a leader both on and off the court.
What kind of leash do you have with Lisa Bluter about a behind the back pass? Like, you kind of gotta make it, right?
I have to make it. I try to tell her if I complete one, then it like gives me a bonus. So like I get 2 now. So if I miss one, I still have 1 left, and it like keeps adding up. But she doesn't really roll with that. But if I do it in a game, I better complete it.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark's actions speak louder than words. She's not just a basketball star. She's a symbol of grace, resilience, and character under pressure. In a world where public figures are often under intense scrutiny, Caitlin showed us how to rise above criticism with poise. Recently, she faced sharp public commentary, but instead of responding with anger or defensiveness, she remained calm, turning a challenging moment into a powerful statement about strength and integrity. This wasn't just about sports. It was a reminder of how much impact words can have and the importance of using them responsibly. Caitlin's ability to stay grounded and true to her values inspired both fans and critics alike, proving that leadership isn't just about what you do on the court. It's about how you handle yourself in life's toughest moments. Moments like these define lasting legacies. Caitlin Clark has shown that real strength isn't about dominating the conversation. It's about leading with quiet confidence, even when faced with adversity. Her actions remind us that grace and resilience are qualities worth emulating, not just for athletes, but for all of us as we navigate life's challenges. Caitlin's journey is a story of perseverance, humility, and the power of character. Whether you're a sports fan or not, her example offers a valuable lesson in staying true to yourself when the world is watching. What about you? What qualities do you think define true leadership? Share your thoughts, and let's continue the conversation about the values we want to celebrate in the next generation of role models.